More concentrated scattered storms could develop across the Texas Panhandle. Other scattered storms are possible for central and southern Florida. Highs today will be in the upper 80s to upper 90s, with the hottest temperatures occurring from eastern Texas to Mississippi. Cooler highs on Saturday in the upper 70s to mid-80s for much of the southeast. By Saturday morning, lows will be in the 50s to lower 60s across much of the southeast and Tennessee Valley. It looks like a nice day for college football Saturday, with showers confined to far south Texas and the Florida Peninsula. And that, my friends, is a brief look at the nationwide weather forecast for this Friday. All right. What do you say we take care of some celebrity birthdays, as well as get ready for Today in History? Okay, sounds like a good plan, doesn't it? And for once, I don't believe I will have to look for the Today in History opener. Although I think I will have to look for Today in History. I don't remember uploading it for sure. There it is. Okay, let's get to celebrity birthdays first of all. Let me restart that real quick.
Damn it, Jim, what the hell's the matter with you? Other people have birthdays. Why are we treating yours like a funeral?
Bones, I don't want to be lectured.
Yeah. Very, very many happy reasons.
And before I run down the list of celebrity birthdays today, if you're celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday. On this, we'll get to that in just a moment. Celebrity birthdays. Jacqueline Bisset of The Deep, well, she turns 69 today. Randy Jones of the Village People, the original cowboy, is 61. Poker player Annie Duke is 48. And Ben Savage, remember him in Boy Meets World, turns 33 today. Those are the celebrity birthdays for this Friday the 13th. It's time now to go back in time for Today in History. Let's get in the car, everybody. And on this date in history, September 13th, 1789, the United States received its first loan negotiated with the Bank of New York and the Bank of North America to pay the salaries of the President and members of Congress. The action was considered illegal. Not that it would ever stop a government official from doing anything like that, though. That was on this date in 1789. And for more of Today in History, let's join the folks at the Associated Press.
September 13th, 1993. In Washington, a step in the quest for peace in the Mideast. Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin and PLO Chairman Yasser Arafat shake hands at the White House. That happens after they sign an accord in which Israel grants limited autonomy to the Palestinians. 2005.
To the extent that the federal government didn't fully do its job right, I take responsibility.
For the first time, President George W. Bush takes responsibility for the federal government's mistakes in its response to Hurricane Katrina. He suggests the calamity raises broader questions about the government's ability to handle both natural disasters and terror attacks. 1971. In upstate New York, police and guards stormed the Attica Correctional Facility, ending a prison uprising. The 4-day ordeal, including the final assault on the prison, claims a total of 43 lives. 1998.
And I will be present to bar the entrance of any Negro who attempts to enroll at the University of Alabama.
Former Alabama Governor George Wallace dies in the state capital, Montgomery, at the age of 79. In his later years, Wallace, who also ran for president, renounced his one-time segregationist views. And 1996.
The sick and psychotic society, somebody save me. Addicted to drama, so even mama couldn't raise me.
Rapper Tupac Shakur dies at a Las Vegas hospital at age 25. It happened 6 days after Shakur was wounded in a drive-by shooting that remains unsolved. Today in History, September 13th, Tim McGuire, The Associated Press.
Whoops. Welcome back to Studio 26, my friends. Pulled that down just a little too fast. Get that fire extinguisher. We want to save that map. Oh, it's too late. Damn it, Haas. You did it again. Oh, well. Let's shake hands on it. Alright, there we go. It's time for market information on this Friday, the 13th day of September. And for some reason I loaded the wrong market cart, so bear with me. That's what happened there. Okay, there we go. Thinking out loud. Market music, please. There we go. Could do it without it, but it's more fun to do it with it, doesn't it? Hey, who's coming in here? Somebody opened the door back there. Oh, well. U.S. markets opened mixed again yesterday morning, with the NASDAQ Composite and the S&P 500 both down slightly better than last night's close. A weekly report on new claims for jobless benefits fell to a multi-year low, but the Labor Department said the drop may have been due to faulty reporting. Early afternoon comments by Senator Harry Reid and Representative John Boehner on a government shutdown related to debate over the U.S. debt ceiling weighed shares down to their daily lows. Let's see here. Asian and European markets closed mixed today, while Latin American markets closed lower again. And here is the closing bell levels for yesterday. S&P 500 down nearly 6 points at 1,638. Dow Jones Industrials average down nearly 26 points. And pull that down just a little bit more. It's a little bit too loud. I feel like I'm shouting, and I don't want to do that. Dow Jones Industrials average down nearly 26 points at 15,330. NASDAQ Composite down 9 points at 37.15. 10-year Treasury note down 2.9%. Or check that, up 0.03%, closing at 2.9% was what I was trying to say. I'd make a lousy stockbroker, by the way. Gold down 33.20 at $1,330.60. Crude oil, $1.04 higher a barrel at $108.60. And let's see here. Some of the big earnings movers included the Kroger Company. It's up 2.5% at $38.60 a share. Men's Warehouse is down 12.1% at $34.05. Stocks on the move included Nokia Corp, up nearly 7% at $6.35 a share. Pandora Media Incorporated up 12.1% at $23.95 after naming a new CEO. Walt Disney Company is up 2.4% at $65.49 after announcing a new buyback program. And in all, 129 stocks put up new 52-week highs yesterday, while 55 stocks posted new lows. For more market information before the CBS World News Roundup, we'll send things on over to APM and the morning report for the 13th day of September 2013.
Everybody's working on their Twitter IPO lines this morning. Here's mine. The tweet smell of success, ? From APM in New York, I'm David Brancaccio. We'll have the global perspective on business and economics in a moment. But first, the short message social media company Twitter wants to sell many little slices of itself to the public. It announced its initial public offering idea in a tweet, of course. Marketplace's Mark Garrison joins us live. Morning, Mark.
Good morning, David.
One word in that tweet is getting a lot of attention. Confidentially. Explain what that means, to confidentially file for a public IPO.
Yeah, in the thousands and thousands of replies and retweets of that message, some people were confused. Well, wait, how is it confidential if you just tweet it to the entire world about it? Now, the P that's in IPO is public, of course, and that idea is a company has to share information about its business to the public so people can decide if they want to invest. But Twitter yet doesn't have to make its information public. And this is something a little new. When the Jobs Act became law last year, it allowed companies with less than $1 billion in revenue to keep their IPO documents confidential until much later in the process. So right now, we don't really get to look under the hood at Twitter to see how well it's actually doing.
the Jobs Act, about jobs. Now, the company stands to raise maybe billions from this IPO. What could they do with the money?
Well, once a company is public, the investors want growth and more growth. Twitter needs a war chest to do that, and they have to expand their advertising business. Just this week, they spent around $350 million buying a mobile ad company. They want to buy more companies or more staff or spend more money marketing. It takes a lot of cash in a multi-billion-dollar IPO. That's one way to get it.
Marketplace's Mark Garrison, thank you.
Thank you.
Now let's do the numbers. In London, the FT 100 is down 0.3%. The key stock index in Shanghai fell 0.9%. S&P, Dow, and NASDAQ futures are all down. 5 years ago this Sunday, I was with Wall Street folks as they piled off the late train from Manhattan. They had seen battle that day, their faces wooden. One Deutsche Bank guy told me that evening, it'll take 20 years to fix this. September 15th, 2008, Lehman Brothers went bust, and we've been looking at the lessons from many angles this week, from the fraudulent subprime mortgage brokers here at home to the continuing global mess. From Dublin, Ireland, Christopher Worth reports.
For lot number 19, start me at...
the final moments of a failed financial institution. An auctioneer in Dublin sells off the art collection once owned by Anglo-Irish Bank, Ireland's most notorious pre-crash lender.
Fair warning at 3003.
Anglo-Irish and banks like it made scores of bad property loans that cost taxpayers billions of dollars and forced the country into a bailout.
Last chance at 4,000.
Dublin resident Ronan Farron stopped in to have a look at the paintings.
It's been a disgrace how the country has been sold, if you like, because of the mistakes of the bankers.
The resulting economic crisis was so deep, it's worked its way into every aspect of Irish life and culture.
Okay, so we're just going to clip along through a couple of things.
A theater rehearsal in Dublin. The characters in this play are a couple ground down by financial worries.
There are debts we haven't cleared. I just want to...
Baby, we're both professionals. All right, we'll both be working soon, I promise.
But the promise fades into long-term unemployment. So they do what a lot of young Irish people have done lately. They leave Ireland to find work, although it doesn't always go so well.
We both made the decision to come here, okay? We both came here for the opportunities.
Opportunities?
Yes, the opportunities.
Danny McCoy of Ireland's Chamber of Commerce says the crisis has caused too many people in Ireland to either immigrate or essentially put their lives on hold. But he says that's partly because the narrative about Ireland has been overly negative.
The Irish story has been exaggerated of all proportion. People perceive Ireland as some kind of poor, backward European country, which couldn't be further from the truth.
McCoy says Ireland is already well into recovery. Sure, it's still in recession, but exports from Irish software and engineering companies are rising by more than 15% a year. The one thing that's missing, he says, is confidence on the home front, the confidence to spend.
Households start to spend again and believe in their own future. They kickstart a very virtuous circle of growth.
In fact, for a country brought down by a property bubble, McCoy's message is one that many thought they wouldn't hear again for a long time in Ireland.
Buy a house. Buy a house. There's plenty of them.
It's advice that might not be too far-fetched. Near Dublin's waterfront, real estate agent Owen Riley shows me around the city's technology and financial services district.
Longbow Quay here, Forbes Quay where my office is based, and this is Gallery Quay.
In the wake of Ireland's crash, Riley says real estate values here dropped by more than half. But demand for housing and office space is on the rise in Dublin. In the past year, Riley says prices in this neighbourhood have jumped more than 15%.
I would predict before this year is out, it'll increase another 5%.
He says an average two-bedroom apartment now goes for upwards of $400,000. And many, like Danny McCoy of Ireland's Chamber of Commerce, fear another housing bubble is already brewing in the Irish capital. He says that's because supply hasn't kept up. Practically no new housing or office space has been built in the past 5 years.
We're going to need to start building fast. And there's always a danger that we'll go headlong into property again. But, have a good time along the way.
Of course, having a good time, well, that's what got Ireland into trouble in the first place. In Dublin, I'm Christopher Worth for Marketplace.
And before we go, for any of you who thought about switching banks to get better terms but decided it was too much of a hassle, there is this from Britain. Officials there would like to see more competition in retail banking, and to that end, new rules go into effect in the UK on Monday that force banks to let you switch in 7 working days or less. People in the UK keep the same bank account on average for 17 years. The average marriage in Britain lasts 11 and a half years. In New York, I'm David Brancaccio with the Marketplace Morning Report from APM, American Public Media.